In the quiet village nestled beside the cursed forest, there lived a young woman named Isolde. Known for her healing skills, Isolde was a solitary figure, spending most of her days gathering herbs from the forest's edge. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the forest's dark magic, warning all who would listen to stay away from its shadowed depths. But Isolde was not one to fear shadows, and the forest had long been her refuge. As Isolde kneels by the brook, her fingers brushing over the delicate petals of a rare herb, she hears a sound, a soft groan carried by the wind. Isolde's heart skips a beat. She rises quickly, her basket forgotten as she rushes toward the sound. She sees a man lying at the forest's edge, his clothes torn and dirtied, his body motionless. His hair is dark, tousled, and he lies face down in the soft earth. As she turns him over, she is struck by his beauty, even in such a battered state. His features are sharp, his jawline strong, and though his eyes are closed, there's an undeniable presence about him. His breath is shallow but steady. She gently lifts him, struggling with his weight, and begins the arduous journey back to her cottage. Inside the warmth of Isolde's cottage, the fire crackles softly, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Isolde tends to the man's wounds, her touch gentle but practiced. Days pass, and the stranger, Eamon, as he calls himself, grows stronger. He speaks little of his past, evading her questions with a charming smile that both frustrates and entices her. There is something about him, something that pulls her in despite her better judgment. As the days turn into weeks, a bond begins to form between them. Eamon is more than just a handsome face. He is witty, intelligent, and surprisingly gentle. Yet, there is a sadness in his eyes, a heaviness that he cannot hide. One evening, as they sit together by the fire, Eamon speaks of the forest. His voice is soft, almost reverent, as he describes its beauty, its dangers, and the dark magic that lies at its heart. He warns her to stay away from its depths, to never venture beyond the safety of the village. But Isolde is not so easily swayed. She has lived her life on the forest's edge, and though she respects its power, she does not fear it. Eamon's hand brushes against hers as he speaks, and a shiver runs down her spine. The air between them is thick with unspoken words, with emotions neither of them dare to voice. That night, Isolde is plagued by strange dreams. She finds herself standing at the forest's edge, the trees looming tall and menacing before her. The air is thick with fog, and through the mist she sees Eamon. But he is not alone. Beside him, coiled around a massive tree, is a serpent. Its scales glisten in the pale moonlight, and its eyes, those piercing green eyes, are locked onto her. The serpent hisses, its voice echoing in her mind, warning her to stay away. Isolde wakes with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. The dream felt too real, too vivid to be just a figment of her imagination. But when she looks over at Eamon, sleeping peacefully beside the fire, she pushes the thoughts away. It was just a dream, she tells herself. Nothing more. The next morning, unable to shake the feeling of unease, Isolde confronts Eamon. She demands the truth, her voice trembling with fear and frustration. Eamon's face pales, his charming facade crumbling as he finally confesses. He tells her of the curse that binds him to the forest, to the serpent that haunts her dreams. He was once a man of power, a sorcerer who sought to control the ancient magic of the forest. But his ambition led to his downfall, and he was cursed to live as a servant to the serpent, Aethon, a creature born of the very magic he sought to master. Eamon's voice breaks as he speaks, his eyes filled with regret. He tells her of the prophecy, of the one who would come to break the curse, to free him from his fate. Isolde listens in stunned silence, the weight of his words sinking in. She is the one foretold, the one who can break the curse, but at a great cost. Determined to free Eamon, Isolde leads him into the heart of the forest, to the place where the serpent resides. The journey is long and treacherous, the forest seeming to come alive around them, its ancient magic pulsing with dark energy. At last, they reach the serpent's lair, a clearing where the trees stand twisted and gnarled, their branches interwoven to form a canopy that blocks out the sky. In the center of the clearing, coiled around a massive, decaying tree, is Aethon. The serpent is massive, its scales shimmering in the dim light, its eyes glowing with a mix of malice and sorrow. The air is thick with tension as the two stand before the creature, their fates hanging in the balance. The serpent's voice fills the air, offering Isolde a choice. Sacrifice herself to break the curse and save Eamon, or walk away and leave him to his fate. Isolde's heart pounds in her chest as she stares into the serpent's eyes, seeing the centuries of pain and suffering reflected back at her. Eamon pleads with her to leave, to save herself and forget about him. But Isolde knows she cannot. Her love for him is too strong, too powerful to be denied. With a steady hand, she reaches out, taking Eamon's hand in hers. The serpent watches as Isolde steps forward, her face calm and resolute. The curse is shattered in an instant, the serpent dissolving into nothingness as the dark magic is finally broken. But as the first light of dawn breaks through the canopy, Isolde finds herself alone. The forest is peaceful, the curse lifted, but Eamon is gone. As Isolde stands in the clearing, the morning sun casting a golden glow over the forest, she feels a warm breeze brush against her cheek. In it, she hears Eamon's voice, a whisper, a promise that their love will transcend even this. And as she turns to leave the forest behind, she knows that their story is far from over.